Hey you guys, so if you want to see how I created this look as well as my thoughts and opinions on the Colourpop Chasing Rainbows eyeshadow palette, just keep on watching. So I got the Colourpop Chasing Rainbows palette on the day of launch. They had like a whole collection. The collection was really overwhelming, I must say. I mean, there was liquid lipsticks, glosses, and there was like loads of them. There was also like single eyeshadows. There was like jelly glitters. There was a highlight palette, but it was like a putty highlight palette. And I feel like the highlighters in that palette were probably going to be a little bit too light for me, so I decided just to go for what I was looking for, which was the eyeshadow palette itself. I was a little bit unsure on whether or not I should go for it when I first saw the pictures, but then I was kind of like, you know what, no, try it out, see if it's the same kind of formula as the Disney collection, like the classic princesses, whatever that was called, the Disney princess palette that I have. Anyway, so it comes with this gorgeous outer packaging. It's kind of like holographic. You probably can see all my fingerprints all over it. So if that's a pet peeve of yours, that's something to take into consideration. I absolutely love this outer packaging, the outer sleeve. It's just so nice. It's just so hollow and pretty. And then this is the palette itself. Again, it does have a little bit of a sheen, but it's not as hollow as the outer sleeve, and it says Chasing Rainbows, and this is all raised, and it says Colourpop with little stars all over it. On the back it has all of the names of the shadows, and it says here that it's cruelty free, made with love in the USA, and each shadow is 1.05 grams, which is 0.04 ounces. So it doesn't matter whether or not you're getting a shimmer or a matte or a satin, they are all 1.05 grams. The reason why I have to mention that is because there are some eyeshadows, pressed pigments, whatever, and the mattes are a different weight from the shimmers, because I guess the way that they're compounded, the way that just the formula and the ingredients just makes one a little bit heavier than the other. But with these, it doesn't matter if you're getting a satin, a matte, or a shimmer, they're all 1.05 grams. Okay, so I'm gonna do some swatches and then we'll get on with the tutorial. Okay, so these are all of the swatches. Okay, when I put them on my arm, I do kind of feel like there is a good color spectrum. Now, as it is called like the rainbow palette, I would expect to have like red and yellow and pink and green, orange and purple and blue. And I can't pick out all of those colors in like on my arm and in the palette, like not a bright red, a bright blue. I have a turquoise, I have a gold, I have a coral, but they're not exactly like the primary colors or the colors that you see directly on a rainbow. Cool, no problem, but it is still quite a decent range in regards to having very light colors, very vibrant colors, and deep colors as well. Now, I will say that this black or dark brownie black that's at the very end did not swatch very well, and that's actually 2 swatches of that color. I tried to at least build it up, but it just was like nah, not feeling it today. So I would be very aware of that when you are using it. It may come off a little bit patchy, it may not be as deep as you might like, but the thing with dark colors is I personally prefer to be able to build up my deep colors, because if they are highly pigmented on the first stroke, I can potentially just mess up the look because the dark shade can overtake everything else. So in that respect, I can get down with that dark shade, but for those of you who want a dark pigmented shade right from the offset, just keep that in mind. Overall, I really do like this shade selection. I do kind of feel like some of the shimmers are a little bit on the crumbly side, because some of the glitters are falling off even on my arm. I'm not too sure if you're able to see that. I'm not 100% sure if you are, but I can most definitely see that there are some of those shimmers and glitters which are kind of like crumbling off a tiny little bit. And that was something that I found with one of the shades that I put on my lid, is that it was vibrant and just pout in your face when I first put it on. And then when I went on to go do the rest of my makeup, it just kind of fell flat, and that's because the glitters fell off. It does not, well, not all of them fell off, but it started to fall off. So that is something else to keep in mind also, is that the glitters, you may need to use, or the shimmer shades, sorry, you may need to use like a glitter glue or something that it will adhere to, because they tend to kind of crumble off a little bit and it's not as vibrant as when you first put it on the lid. But keeping all of that in mind, let's move on to the tutorial. Right, so before we begin, these are the shades inside the palette. Now this is my second Colourpop palette. What I have noticed is that they don't come with the little plastic inserts that other palettes do. I personally like to have those inserts because it stops any transference of the eyeshadow from going onto the top of the palette. It's not a big deal, but it would be nice if there was one. Okay, so I've already concealed my eyelid. I'm going to go in with this shade here called Woke. Then I'm going to use a little bit of this colour here, Wish List. That is really nice. And those blended together really well. Now I'm going to use this shade here called Keep Cool. I will say there is a little bit of kickback. Oh wow. See, these shades, they are blending together really nice. Now I'm going to go in with this shade here, Lucid. So now I'm going to go back in with this Keep Cool shade, and I'm also going to mix it with Prism here. So I'm going to mix the two. Right, so this is the finished look for the Chasing Rainbows palette by Colourpop. This is what I came up with. With this look, I kind of feel like it's almost kind of 90s-ish a little bit with the color selection. And as I said before, this doesn't really give me rainbow vibes as much, but nonetheless, it is still quite pretty. I was kind of thinking to myself at first when I bought it, like, should I get it? Shouldn't I get it? I wasn't 100% sure, but I am kind of glad that I've got it because I feel like the quality of the shadows are really good, and it's kind of on par with the Disney Collection eyeshadow palette that I got from them as well. So I think it's safe to say that this is the standard of eyeshadows that they bring to the table on a regular basis, I believe. So I do like this look. Oh, I just wanted to let you guys know I use this shade here, Not Playing, on my inner corner. I just like kind of dab that on the inner corner. I tried not to go too crazy with it. And I also put Wish List and Realness, like a dab of each, on my lower lash line, so I can make the palette that I've made. Overall, I really like this palette. As I said, I'm not getting 100% rainbow vibes. Like, there's no bright red, there's no bright blue. So I'm not 100% sold on the whole rainbow thing, especially as it's called Chasing Rainbows. But then I guess, wouldn't it have just been a regular crazy colored eyeshadow palette if it was just the colors of the rainbow? It would just be like any other vibrant colored eyeshadow palette. So I do like this, especially as they've gone with these. This shimmer was really nice on the inner corner, but you have to kind of like just use it sparingly. Don't go too crazy with it, otherwise it'll probably like overtake the look. This shade here, Lucid, that I put all over the lid, was really nice when I first put it on, but then as I've gone on to do the other eye, I've found that the pigment and the pop of it has kind of died down a little bit, so it's not as bright in your face as it was when I first applied it. So that's something to just keep in mind as well. Aside from that, gorgeous shades. I would definitely advise getting this palette if you haven't done so already. It's just so pretty. I can't wait to create more looks with this, and I will be doing another video where I create another eyeshadow look with it. So let me know what your thoughts and feelings are. Have you got this palette? Do you like the look that I made? Do you not? Tell me your overall thoughts, feelings and opinions, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.